name is Martha Morello. I'm a registered yoga teacher, and I'm going to be guiding you through about 30 minutes of stretching. We're going to begin lying down on your back. We're going to transition into some prone and kneeling positions, and then we will end in some seated postures. All you need is a little bit of space so that you can lie all the way down. A mat doesn't have to be anything fancy, and if you don't have a yoga mat, don't worry. Just lie somewhere relatively comfortable so the floor isn't going to hurt your knees or your back and your body. Bare feet is best, but feel free to wear socks if you prefer. We're not going to be doing any standing posture, so you won't need to worry about getting a grip on the floor or on your mat with your feet. I hope you enjoy. Please let me know if you have any questions or feedback about any of these exercises. I'd love to help you clarify anything or really just get the most out of these stretches. So without further ado, let's get started. We're going to begin lying down on your back. Find a nice, comfortable position here. Let the back of your head, your neck, your shoulders really rest on the ground so they're fully supported. You don't have to do any muscular engagement to hold that part of your body up. Likewise, in the back, the hips, the pelvis, let your weight just rest down onto the floor. Feel fully supported here. We'll extend your right leg long onto the mat and go ahead and begin to bring your left foot up towards the ceiling. Don't worry about how far it comes or how much you can reach. We're just going to take your hands, reach behind your thigh, and pull in until you feel a gentle stretch in the back of the hamstring. In each of these stretches here today, I would like you to take about 5 deep breaths. Relax your face. Relax the shoulders. Notice if you're craning up, and can you let them settle? Just really all we're doing is supporting the leg here with these hands behind the thigh. Good. After your 5 breaths, when you're ready, no rush, we're going to bend this left knee. We're going to bring the knee to the outside of the torso, so towards your left shoulder. Your left arm is going to come on the inside of your shin, and your hand is going to come to the pinky toe side of your foot. This is half happy baby, if that sounds familiar to you. Your left knee is moving down towards the floor and out away from the midline of your body. So again, kind of towards your left shoulder. 5 deep breaths here. If it's helpful, you can use your right hand, rest it on that right hip. Just trying to keep the right hip grounded as best you can. After your 5 deep breaths here, go ahead and bend your right knee. Place the sole of your right foot on the ground. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Use the palms of your hands here right at the tops of both thighs, and we're just going to press those thighs away from you. We're getting a lengthening in the low back here, and also a stretch in your left outer hip. Keep breathing here. when you're ready, we're coming into a supine twist. You're gonna keep your left foot crossed over your right thigh if you can, and this whole thing, both of your legs are coming over to the right. Maybe you take your right hand to the outside of your left hip for a little bit of kind of just gentle guidance to bring that hip up and over. Maybe your left hand comes out to a T from your left shoulder, if that's comfortable. If this doesn't feel good with the left ankle crossed over the right thigh, you can certainly uncross and just let that left knee kind of stack over top of the right knee if that's better for you. Feel free to do either one. 5 full breaths. After your 5 breaths, carefully bring those legs back to center. If you have your left ankle crossed, you're gonna just uncross, extend the left leg long. We'll take a right leg up towards the ceiling. Starting over here with hamstring stretch. Remember, don't worry about really yanking that leg in or reaching up for your toes. We want the upper part of the body in particular to be very relaxed. And then the legs just reaching up and pulling in as much as is comfortable to you. Five breaths in each position here. Really notice if the help of that deep breath is starting to maybe bring you a little bit of a sense of relaxation, of softening. When you're ready, we'll find half happy baby. Right knee comes to the outside towards your right shoulder. Right arm is going to come on the inside of your right leg, and the hand reaches for the pinky toe side of the foot. We're pulling that right knee down and out. Keep breathing, you're doing great. 5 breaths. Relax your face. Let gravity assist that right knee to come down towards the floor. After your 5 breaths, kind of know where we're going here because we've already been there on the other side. Your left knee's gonna bend, sole of the left foot comes to the floor, right ankle crosses over the left thigh, palms of the hands to the tops of the thighs to lengthen the spine. Kind of think about pressing your thighs away from your body, from your torso. Lengthening the low back, opening up the right hip. Continue to breathe here. Let each breath be a new wave of relaxation. When you're ready for supine twist, no rush to get there. Just find your way at your own pace. Your right knee is moving over to the left. Your right hand maybe comes out to a T, or you can leave it down by your side. Left hand maybe just rests on the outside of your right thigh to kind of guide it down. Of course, if crossing this right ankle over the thigh doesn't feel good, maybe you just stack the knees instead. You decide. Couple more breaths here. After 5 full breaths, go ahead and bring both knees back to center. If you have right ankle crossed, we'll uncross. Both knees are gonna draw in towards the chest here. Your hands come to the front of the shins to give them a squeeze. You can curl up into a little ball here. Good. Go ahead and release that squeeze, and we're gonna turn over. It does not matter which side you turn to, just come either way. We'll make our way onto all fours. Take a few moments here to find table. So wrists under shoulders and knees under the hips, tops of the feet resting on your mat. And we'll find a little cat-cow action here in the spine. So arching the back, lifting tailbone and chin, rounding the back, pulling the navel towards the spine, arching the back, kind of pressing the chest forward and squeezing between the shoulder blades, rounding the back, pulling the chin to the chest, almost pressing the floor away from you. Good. When you're ready, take your time, no rush. Meet back in table. Neutral spine, flat back. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Press down into the palms of the hands and tuck your toes under. Be sure that there's about hips distance between your feet, and then we'll make our way to downward dog here. Downward dog is an inverted V. So pressing into the palms of the hands, shift your weight back towards your heels. Let your heart melt towards the floor so your ears come between your biceps. Relax your head so you're looking back between your legs. Keep breathing here, 5 full breaths. Feel that length not only along the backs of the legs, but also along the spine. And after your 5 breaths, begin to shift your weight back forward. Relax your knees to the mat. Great job. We'll take your left foot and bring it in between the hands. We'll stack shoulders over hips. Maybe you take your hands to the hips here if that feels okay. Tuck the tailbone under. Draw the navel towards the spine. Begin to kind of shift the pelvis forward. Maybe you do that a few times. Kind of press forward and then pull back, keeping the tailbone tucked the whole time. Getting a really nice stretch in your right hip flexor. That's the leg that is in the back at the moment. Hold maybe 1 or 2 more breaths here. Keeping the torso nice and upright, shoulders over hips. And we'll come back to half split. Your hips are going to go straight back towards the back of your mat. Your left toes are going to lift towards the ceiling. Your left heel digs straight down into the floor and then pulls isometrically back towards the back of your mat. The same direction in which your hips are pulling, so your body weight is pulling back. Keep breathing here. This can be a pretty intense one behind the knee and down the calf. Use the breath to soften the muscles and relax the mind. After 5 5 breaths here. We're gonna do one simple movement and just take your left foot and bring it down towards the floor. We're getting a really nice stretch here now in the front of the left ankle. Again, keep breathing. I know this can be pretty intense. 5 full breaths. Carefully bring that left knee back over the ankle. Bring your left hand to the inside of your left foot, and if you would, please walk your left foot out to the edge of your mat. So we find ourselves in lizard lunge here with the left foot wider than the left hip. And if it's comfortable for you, keeping the sole of the left foot flat on the mat, you can allow your left knee to move out away from the left ankle. So towards the pinky toe, or maybe even beyond the pinky toe. Keep the palms of the hands flat. Your right leg is relaxed, knee is down on the mat. And we're gonna kind of lift the gaze here, pressing the chest forward as we let that left knee move out away from the midline of the body. Of course, keep breathing. Relax the jaw, soften the shoulders to the best of your ability. Just a couple more breaths here. Carefully bring your left knee back in line with your left ankle if it's not already. And then we'll begin to shift the weight back and make your way back into tabletop position. Any little transitional movement that feels good here is more than welcome. So maybe it's a little hip sway side to side. Maybe you would like to come back into downward dog. Maybe you would like to revisit cat-cow, that spinal extension and flexion. Anything at all that you need here, and nothing is fine too. You can just hang in table and get ready for our lunging on the other side. And when you are ready, we will take right foot up in between the hands and repeat that series on the opposite side. So right knee over right ankle, shoulders come over the hips, tailbone tucks under. Now we're stretching left hip flexor here. So with the tailbone tucked and the belly button pulling in towards the spine, feel free to kind of shift forward and back if that feels good. Or maybe you just find a really good stretch and hold there, that's good too. Full breaths. When you're ready, make your way into half split. Hips go straight back. Hands come down, one on either side of your right leg. Right heel is going to dig down into the floor. Isometrically pull back towards the back of your mat. Right toes kind of lift up towards the ceiling. Keep breathing here. Again, this is so intense on the back of the leg, maybe behind the knee, maybe the calf, maybe more in the hamstring for you. Imagine with every exhale, the muscles softening, unraveling, lengthening. 5 breaths in each posture. So every time you get to a new posture, you just reset. 5 full deep breaths. Let that keep you grounded, keep you centered, keep you focused. When you're ready for that ankle stretch, we're just gonna carefully drop the right foot towards the floor. It does not have to come all the way down. Breathe here. And again, you probably know where we're going because we've been there on the other side already. So after your 5 breaths, take your time. Carefully begin to shift your weight forward, bend that right knee. Bring your right hand to the big toe side, the inside of the right foot. Walk the right foot out. Good, leave the left leg relaxed so the knee is down, the top of the foot is down. Right foot stays solidly planted into the floor. Right knee, however, can move out away from the midline of the body if that's comfortable for you. Lift the gaze, press the chest. And breathe. Relax your jaw here, your shoulders and neck. Five full breaths. After your 5 breaths, take your time. Begin to shift your weight back. Walk your right knee in over the ankle and then bring that foot back into tabletop position. Great job. If there's any transitional movement you need from here before we come all the way prone, please feel free. Take time to do that. Maybe again, it's downward dog or cat cow or anything of that nature. We're gonna meet down on the mat with the palms of the hands right by the armpits. We're gonna roll the shoulders onto the back. Maybe you do that a couple times to kind of get the feel of pulling the shoulders down away from the ears and back towards each other. Elbows are squeezed in by the sides of the body. To the best of your ability, relax the legs and we'll press up into cobra and lower down. If you can, attach your inhale to the lift and your exhale to the lower. Inhale, press up. Your arms do not have to come completely straight. Exhale, lower down. 2 more for 5 total. Last one here. Beautiful. From here, we're simply going to press up and all the way back into child's pose. So knees are hips width apart, hips sit back towards the heels, and the belly rests on top of the thighs. Relax your forearms, your elbows, and your shoulders. Let your forehead rest. So if it does not comfortably come all the way to the floor, do you have something you could prop it with, if it's like a folded blanket or pillow or even just a little book or something of that nature that brings the floor up to your head so you can rest the weight of your head on something. When you're ready, lift the forehead, walk the hands in towards the knees, and we'll make our way into a seated position. We're gonna bring soles of the feet together here. Take your time. Knees out wide in a diamond shape, and bring the palms of the hands underneath the pinky toe sides of the feet. Draw the heels in towards your groin just as far as is comfortable. So no need to yank them in to the point of discomfort in your groin, just however far feels good. And then sit up nice and tall. Use the palms of the hands, pulling into the sides of the feet to kind of press your chest forward and pull your shoulders away from your ears. 5 deep breaths here. After your 5 breaths, we're going to release the hands from underneath the pinky toe sides of the feet. We'll take a final hip stretch here from seated. So right foot is going to come kind of over and across in front of you so that your right shin is parallel to your body. Knee and ankle in line to the best of your ability. Dorsiflex that right foot so the sole of your foot is facing out. And then we're going to stack your left foot on top of that right one. Don't worry about how much space is in between your left knee and your right foot. Some people will have no space, some of us will have quite a big gap, no big deal. What we're feeling is external rotation of the left hip, and we're just gonna sit here for 5 deep breaths. If this feels really good and you're a person with a good amount of mobility in your hip, you're welcome to fold forward into this posture, make it a little deeper. But don't feel like you have to do that at all. Just hang right here if this is fairly intense. Just 5 breaths. Relax your face and your shoulders. If it's helpful, this is our, again, final lower body stretch on this side. After your 5 breaths, carefully transition, and here's how we're going to do it. We're going to take your hands over to your right, away from the externally rotated hip. Shift your body weight in this direction, and then bring that right foot behind you, and then bring your body weight back to center. You may notice right away, this is the opposite position that your left hip is now in. It was externally rotated and now it is internally rotated. So we're going to sit here for 5 breaths. The closer in your left foot comes towards your glutes, the less intense that stretch is. The further away your foot is, the more intense. So feel free to move your left foot to the point that feels good to you. Let gravity help you here. If there is space between your left hip and the floor, that is okay. You do not have to try to force that down. Just let it be and do your best to remain here for 5 full breaths. When you're ready to transition, again, be mindful. Take your hands to your right, shift your body weight over to your right. Feel how that lets go of that intense sensation, and then you can bring your left foot out in front. Same thing, same 2 things, but opposite side. So we're going to be working with the right hip. Your left leg is going to be the bottom leg here, shin parallel to the front of your mat. Knee in line with ankle, foot dorsiflexed, and then your right foot comes over to the top of your left thigh, right underneath the knee. Again, if your knee's way up, far away from your ankle, don't worry about that, that's okay. Just sit tall, let gravity do the work. Maybe you rest your right hand on that knee, but please don't try to force it down, no need. This is just allowance. We're just letting this happen naturally, and that's why we're staying for 5 full breaths. With each breath, believe it or not, a tiny little bit of softening happens, even if it's barely noticeable. Again, if you feel real good here and this feels like a really lovely stretch and you want more, you can fold forward, taking the hands in front of your shins and walking them out. That's a great option if you have the mobility in your right hip. And after your 5 breaths, you might already be there. Shift your body weight to your left. Take that right foot. We're going to bring it behind you. Shift your body weight back to center. Again, the closer you draw your right foot in towards you, the less intense the internal rotation. So find what feels good there. Don't worry if your right hip is not touching the floor. Sit up tall, shoulders over hips. Let gravity pull your hips down. Don't try to force. Just breathe. That's your only job here. 5 deep breaths. This is our final lower body stretch. After your 5 breaths, take your time if you're not quite there yet. We'll shift weight over to the left. And we'll bring that right foot out in front of us. Whew. Great job. Just find a comfortable seat here. Maybe it's cross-legged and maybe it's sitting on a blanket or a cushion or on your knees. Any of those options are fantastic. You can extend the legs out in front of you. We're just going to take a moment here to draw our attention to the neck and shoulders. So no worries about which way you're sitting on your mat. In fact, if you are done sitting on the floor and your hips are like, oh my gosh, we've been here for a while, feel free to get up and sit in a chair for these last few exercises. Go ahead and interlace the fingers here, and we're gonna pull the hands away from the chest with the hands at about the height of the shoulders. To the best of your ability, keep the shoulders down, away from the ears. Then we're gonna flip the palms of the hands. So we're gonna take the hands and go the other way. Feel that stretch in the wrists and forearms. Take a couple breaths here. And then when you're ready for 5 breaths, we're gonna bring these arms up overhead as far as you comfortably can. And then back down. So 4 more of those. If possible, connect your inhale to the lift and your exhale to the lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Good. 2 more. Last one, up and over. And then back down. And go ahead and release those hands. Stretch the arms out to the sides. Palms are going to face down here. And then turn the palms up. Turn the palms down. Turn the palms up. Reach those fingertips out away from one another. Palms turn down. One more time. Up and down. Relax your hands down by your sides. Take the right arm up if you would, please, and reach over. Come on back. Then bring left arm up and reach over. Sitting up tall, relax your left ear down towards your left shoulder. Keep breathing. Roll the chin towards the chest when you're ready to do so. Let the head hang in the center, nice and heavy. Finally, very carefully bring the right ear over in the direction of the right shoulder. Let the shoulders relax, let the head be heavy here. Keep breathing. Taking your time, bring the head back to center. Take a big deep breath, reach up, inhale, and circle around, exhale. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed that practice and those stretches. Again, please let me know if you have questions, and I hope you have an awesome week. Thank you so much.